What's up, everybody? As you saw in the title, I'm taking you through a full day of practice. It'll be 5, 6 hours long. I wear a lot of hats. I am a content creator, I am a golf coach, I'm also a golf professional playing a bunch of tournaments. So today, golf professional day, getting dialed with the swing and the rest of the game. So I'm going to get to the golf course. First off, shout out my barber, got a little haircut. It's a little coconut heady, but shout out him, her. I don't have the same one every time. So yeah, let's do that. I'll take you along and let's get to the golf course. Boom, and we have made it to the golf course. I know, I time traveled. Sorry to tell you this, but you go to the house and then you get here so we don't really time travel. All the creators will tell you we time travel. We don't. Sorry you got to hear it like this. But we're back to golf, back to the golf course. We're going to start with putting, and the reason for this is I think it takes the most patience, and I have the most patience when I first get here. So let's get on to putting. So we made it to the putting green. I'm away from it a little bit because I'm trying to avoid people that are actually practicing. But to start, I always use this putting plate because it has these two little marbles. It makes sure that you start the ball dead on line because there's not a whole lot of room for error though when you put these marbles at the front. So we're gonna start with that, find a straight putt, and hit a bunch of these. I couldn't tell you how many I actually make, but it's definitely over 30. So we're gonna start with that, kind of get moving. Make sure the putter feels right. So I finished the pedals putting drill. Feel pretty good about getting the ball started online. It's now 1:36, and so I did that for about 30 minutes. Now we're off to the circle drill. I want to test being able to start online without the training aid, and also this circle drill helps me learn how to read greens because you see a bunch of different slopes and breaks and whatnot. So let's get on to that. I have 3 balls at each tee, 5 tees. Got to make all of them before I move back any farther. My goodness, never thought a straight putt would be so hard. All right, so the 3.5 to 4 foot circle took way longer than I thought it would. It is now 1:56. I moved the circle back to 8 feet. And the goal with this, I have 2 golf balls per tee. I'm gonna go around and I have to beat PGA Tour average. So their average is 50%, so I gotta make at least 5 of these going around before I can leave the putting green. That's 1. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. 4 to 6. We're getting there. There it is. Yeah, 6 out of 8. Completed our goal. We're going for extra credit. Nice. Love that. It's like 7 out of 10. So I finished up putting. I know what you're thinking, Darren, you didn't hit a single putt outside 8 feet. Well, most of my putting practice is done inside of probably 15 feet. I really want to get good at starting on line and trying to match speed and line for those kind of shorter range putts. That's kind of where I feel like I score most. I'm a pretty good lag putter, and I work on that a decent bit of the time, but most of the time that's based on the speeds of the green. So that's why I work on mostly the shorter stuff. All right, we're taking a quick break, a little lunch break. Got my protein shake, some snacks, trail mix, banana, protein bar. But I wanted to talk about what I was doing during that whole putting practice. So like kind of why I did it. So started with the Pels putting trainer because I wanted to really focus on one, hitting the center of the putter, because if you don't hit the center, you're probably not going to get it through those gates. And two, starting it online. Super important, both of those things. I mean, hitting the center of the putter is huge for getting to start online and then also getting the right speed. Next, I moved on to a bunch of different circle drills. The big thing for those is I make sure that I feel out the slope in every putt, because then I can use that knowledge that I'm gaining there for when I'm on the course. So I feel it out, I hit the putt, I see, okay, I felt that. It was a just outside the left putt, and it broke in. So I can take that feeling to the golf course and kind of have a little bit better educated guess when I'm on the golf course. And then when I move back to 8 feet, I'm really just trying to test myself against PGA Tour averages, because it's just a good target to have. If you kind of just putted randomly and then had no target, there's no like little pressure. We're trying to make it a little closer to the course where there's a little bit of pressure. It's not as easy. So that's the reason why there's that goal. And I have to beat tour averages because I get 2 putts in every one. So it makes it a lot easier. But that's why I started that. We're going to get this lunch consumed and then off to chipping. So I made it to our next spot. To be honest, took a long lunch break. I had an email that was great to come in, got exempted to a new tournament. So that was awesome, had to handle that. It is now 2:50. We're starting our chipping practice. The way I practice my chipping is I grab 5 golf balls. Yes, I know they're green. They stand out from the range balls we have here. I get 5 golf balls and I just hop around to different spots. Just really working on feel. If I'm working on technique, yeah, I'll sit here and I'll hit the same shot over and over and over again. Really working on that, but I feel really good about my technique, so I really want to focus on feel, and the best way I found to do that is to do this 5 golf balls and just move around so I don't have the same thing over and over and over again. So that was 5. Now we move on to the next spot. All right, we finished up our short game practice. Now we're moving on to some full wedges. It's now 340. We're gonna start at, say, 50, 60 yards and then try and move back to about 90. Just really getting in that feel for the different shots. I wanna be a little more proficient at these kind of scoring numbers. So we're gonna hit probably 10-ish balls for each location and then slowly move back, trying to build off the feels that we had on the last one and so on and so forth. So let's do it. So that's it for the wedge practice today. Now we're gonna move over to the driving range, work on the full swing. Feeling pretty good about this wedge session. Figured I do really like 40, 60, 70, 90 yards. 50 yards needs work. But that's why we do this, so we learn. So I made it to the range. I didn't end up explaining anything when I was out here because there was other people around. I didn't want to bother them. So let's talk about what I did on the range here. First off, when I come to the range, I want to make sure there's some sort of plan. One thing I've been working on is trying to get a little deeper at the top of my swing. Basically, my hands get really high, kind of more over my head. I want them a little bit more over my shoulder. So I was working on that, got these 2 alignment sticks taped together to give me a little bit of a reminder. If I get too high, I'll hit the stick.
So I did that a lot with the wedges to try and get a good feel for where I wanted to be at, and really focused on between them. I mean, in the time frame it took me to hit 10 balls, I probably could have hit 40. I mean, it was really deliberate on what I was doing. Then I slowly worked up through the bag to try and transfer this feel that I had with the drill over to these other clubs. I don't spend that much time on the range here because I wanted to work on technique stuff, and then once I feel comfortable with it, next it would be working on different shot shapes and trying to trust it, kind of resemble the course. But my plan was to go out and play a little later, so that's where I'm going to do that testing there. So I didn't have the longest range session, but I really wanted to focus on what I was doing and really work on that feels. Remember, when you're on the range, it's not how many golf balls you hit, it's how deliberate you were in practice, how focused you were. That's how you're going to get the most out of your practice. So I went from wedge all the way up to driver. Now we're on to go play some holes.
Well, that's the end of my practice at the range. Got a good feel for what I'm working on. Now we're going to test it on the golf course. I got time for a few more holes, so let's get out and do that. So that is the end of my full day of practice. I played 3 holes. I shot 1 under for those 3 holes. It is now 6:04, 18:04 military time. And I just want to talk about who this practice routine would be tailored for. If you're a weekend golfer or just someone who plays every once in a while, wants to get a little better, this is probably as much practice as you're going to do in a week. 5 to 6 hours. Let's call it 4 because I had a bit of a break. So that's about as much practice as you'd probably do in the whole time. This practice routine is more structured for someone who's in middle school or high school, or they're working to get towards kind of a really high level of golf. Unfortunately, you can't just do like an hour or 2 every once in a while and really excel to the top of this game. You really got to put a lot of time in, and you really got to have a lot of practice that is focused and there's a goal towards it, not just kind of going out and hitting balls. So this is a good routine for that. If you're, again, one of those weekend golfers, you can take everything I did here but just split it up a little bit. So I did essentially 4 hours of practice and golf, and you can split that up however you want. Like, you say you get to practice twice a week, you can do some of that putting routine, some of that chipping routine, and then go hit full swings, or, you know, mix and match however you seem to. But just making sure when you do practice, there's a goal in mind, there's some sort of plan, not just going out there and beating balls, you know, one after another. So with that said, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something here in just improving your practice and finding some sort of routine that works for you so you can improve to that higher level that you're looking for. So again, thanks for watching. If you liked it, leave a like. If you haven't, hit subscribe. I make a lot of shorts. I make a lot of videos on Instagram and TikTok. I'm slowly getting back into doing a lot more longer form videos on YouTube. So stick around for those. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one.
If you're looking for a one-stop shop, everything short game related to help you improve on and around the greens, I got a short game program for you. If you want to watch more of these videos, click here. If you want to subscribe, click down here.